I'll leave you to see for yourself this information and the link I've put on this post, and you can read it yourself. But don't believe everything you hear in the news. This is a classic example of the news and the media manipulating us, especially when it comes to house prices, especially when it comes to the housing market. I am sick to death of them doing this. Because the headline in here in this news article says house prices fall for the first time in 6 months. No one in the history of news in terms of house prices has ever put a headline up saying about 6 months. They'll say about year on year, but 6 months is stretching it a bit and trying to manipulate everybody in terms of that. But let me tell you, this is about the Halifax releasing information. And then what happens is the BBC takes it over. Let's be honest, British Bullshit Corporation. That's effectively who they are, because they just churn out everything that's negative news all the time, especially when it comes to the housing market. Let me assure you that the housing market is only going down slightly, if 1 or 2 percentage points, in London and outer London and lower England. When you go to Upper England, according to Zoopla, according to the national statistics as well, which is the right information and more accurate than what Halifax has got, everything from Northern England and upwards into Scotland has actually gone up, with a few exceptions in terms of house prices. So this headline that you see right now in the news is very, very misleading overall. You could believe when you've read this that the whole of Britain itself and the whole of the UK as well is actually gone down in price when it actually isn't. So they talk about things like that. And let me just say some of the things that they're saying there. Lenders say their prices have dropped 1% last month, with higher mortgage rates affecting affordability. Average house price fell by 2,900 to 288,000. Well, that's over the whole of the UK. Scotland, as I said, it's a lot less than that, but it's actually gone up. However, Halifax said that house prices were still way ahead of where they were last year. I'll say that again. However, Halifax says house prices were still way ahead of where they were last year. So here's the headline: house prices fall for the first time in 6 months. But then they go on to say Halifax is actually saying that really the prices are way ahead of where they were last year. That's the BBC for you, and that's the media for you, manipulating the market itself. Prices were 3% higher, 0.3% higher in March than from a year earlier itself, although it was down from 1.6 annual increase seen in February. So see how they're smoking mirrors and how they're doing things. So as I said, you can read through the rest of it if you want, but don't believe everything you hear about the housing market in the media, because the housing market is manipulated, and the media is manipulating the housing market statistics in order to get the simple headlines about, house prices fall for first time in 6 months. This is what they call clickbait. So what happens is when you click on that, it obviously registers, and then it gets an opportunity for them to read your articles, which then pushes it further because they've got justification that they're getting more people and traffic coming to their website as a result. That is clickbait. That's what you see in all the newspaper headlines as well. Once you click on it, you find when you read it, there's nothing wrong. Everything's okay. And that's exactly what they're saying here. The clickbait is house prices have dropped for the first 6 months, but actually the Halifax is saying house prices were still ahead of where they were last year. There you go. So don't believe everything you read in the media. The housing market is very robust, especially the Fife housing market itself, and especially the Scottish housing market as well. So that means if you're a seller, you shouldn't be really accepting anything below home report value at this point in time. We are still in a seller's market in Scotland, and we're still in a seller's market in Fife itself. If you need more information, please feel free to reach out. Until next time, guys, I'm Jim Parker for Fife Property TV. We will be talking tomorrow, Richard and I, at 9:30. We were talking about get sold this spring. This is our tomorrow morning show. Give your home an instant spring lift to sell fast and sell high. That's what it's all about. Anyway, bye-bye for now.